You are watching Liberty Online TV.
All right, so good afternoon and welcome to the program Liberty Sports, where they come to you live on Liberty Online Television, our Facebook page, YouTube, and all the other social media handles them where they get we from. This show they powered by Orange, and may they bring to you this edition of the program, like always, my name is Mohamed Kamara. As they don't be Saturday, March 29, I want to welcome you inside this very special edition of the program Liberty Sports. And of course, inside the program today, we get a lot more for discuss as we will come assess Leon Stars' performance inside the two matches they will play in the 2026 World Cup African qualifiers. And as you know, inside the week, we still be play against Guinea-Bissau, and same way so we play against Egypt. And of course, the match against Guinea-Bissau, Leon Stars emerged victorious as they defeat Guinea-Bissau by 3-1, and we bow down to Egypt inside the match we'll play against them as we lost by 1-0. And same way so we can look at the performance of the team within the two matches them will play, and same way so look at the remaining matches they move for play inside the qualification stage. Well, also again, we can look at the possibility of Leon Stars for secure a spot now the 2026 World Cup we will play inside America, Canada, and also Mexico. And same way so inside the program, we will bring to you update from the Leo Rock Premier League as the second phase of the transfer window door open today. Officially, we are in players them gets the rights now for move from one club to another. Well, how you get for Talek, and same way so we go discuss about the concerns we know they come from, teams them that the Premier League we know they get concern we get for do with the yellow card we then for pay for players them, and of course teams that there is concern say therefore extend the period of time for them, like we play a secure yellow card for like 5 different matches them or 5 times, then eligible now for pay, or if you fail for pay, definitely will play now any other match. Well, the Premier League board then gets their own concern with regards to this, but we will get clarification with regards to this as we will talk to representative from the Premier League board. And also again inside the program we will discuss on issues then we get for do with the teams then complain so far we don't only bring to the Premier League board. One get to do with the jersey numbers of players them, as the Premier League board observes say most of the teams them within the Premier League not consistent with regards to players jersey number. And as we all know say, for follow best standard in terms of football, definitely a player for ensure say it go with a single number when it represents a particular club for a season. Well, with whose implication this gets to the game, we therefore can discuss more on this. And you will also get updates on the Sierra Leone Premier League, the league standings, and same way so look at the weekend fixtures of matches them we're set for play during this weekend. Well, all this plus more set for you inside the program. Don't forget to use it for the watch week. You join the conversation But we will drop your comments to the comment section and also send me a message on 074 200 545, the program at Liberty Sports, and it come to you live on Liberty Online Television. May they bring to you this edition, my name is Mohamed Kamara. Well, I pleasure now to introduce my guest at the studio. Of course, for you don't follow Liberty Online Television. In the previous program there, you didn't notice we don't get this gentleman on different interviews them. We get for do with local sports in the country, you know. Today, of course, now the very first thing is for appear at the studio for can talk to viewers them on issues them we relating to sport locally in the country. Now, a pleasure now for introduce my guest, we now Michael Kanu, where they also today for can talk about all the issues them I just outlined in the program. Good afternoon and welcome to Liberty Sports for the very first time.
Thank you, Mohamed, and thank you, viewers them, on a good afternoon.
And Michael Kanu, of course, a sports expert, today with me at the studio today for can talk about all the issues them. We are just highlights. We can look at Leon Stars' performance at the two matches they will play recently against Guinea-Bissau and also Egypt, you know, as we lost against Egypt and we get to win against Guinea-Bissau by 3-1. Well, firstly, Michael, let me look at the first match we'll play against Guinea-Bissau. We see Leon Stars be put on a very good, outstanding performance under the leadership of the newly appointed coach, Winner Mohamed Kalon. We see the team gets a very good performance at the match as they may defeat Guinea-Bissau by 3-1. Now we look at the team selection. Yeah, what do you feel say? You know, whose modalities if you say Mohamed Kalon be put in place, we get an easy one inside a match.
Well, from my previous interview you will get with me, I've been telling you say Coach Kalon want to build up a team and he want to get control of this team. That's why he be select more of home-based players them. And what's making be select more of the home-based players there so Coach Kalon done the turn for how many years now, and I'm the head coach of the team will also be CEO of when FC Kalon. And now one post we get patients that if they follow most of them players there so. Now various fields outside the leagues they play. So when he be ready for select the national team, we find out say it be so bias free. Call from almost all the Premier League teams them, the outstanding players them from them teams there so. So I believe say Coach Kalon it be so unique in that area day of selecting the players that they play week in, week out, and where they in a very good form.
Okay, so one thing we, according to you from your assessments, where you feel say that from day Mohamed Kalon gets a right, get for do with the team selection or the call-up. Because in football match, when a coach get the responsibility for call players them for represent the national team, you find out the concerns can always come from the public, no matter what, not only in Sierra Leone, but cut across the world. Whenever a coach gets you know, opportunity for call players, then when you call this, you will get other people who will say, why you not call this other player, you know. But looking at the composition of the players, them way Mohamed Kalon be called at the squad and the concerns where we don't come from the public. You see, say Mohamed Kalon now be the right players them within form we for represent the country, both local base players them and the one within the diaspora. If you say now the Mohamed Kalon be called for represent the national team.
I will tell you say Coach Kalon be 70 to 85% correct of in team selections them. Yes, now human being. He must get some biasness in some aspects. But for me, the team selection, locally, it be get up to 70 to 85%. For the foreign-based players them, like we will say the one will be more left out when I be Augustus Cabo, where not been due to injury. Where in last game we play for Blackburn, about 60 minutes in play for, where then we get for change because of injury. But we see how the game play. We see the performance of the boys that we invite. Then they don't tell we say now be a very good choice in be make in selecting in players there.
All right, because Augustus Cabo now another renowned player we so many people be done the yarn for seeing at the team, yeah. But the crystal clear say the player gets injury, and there is no way for them include player we gets injury for can represents whole national team. Now, we go into the match we'll play against Guinea-Bissau. We see the team be put on a very good performance. Throughout the match, we make the game be end 3-1 in favor of Leon Stars. Now, let me look at, you know, the boys them or the team selection with Mohamed Kalon, the players that we put together inside the first 45 minutes, we get an easy one. And one game for do with the team captain on that very match with Mustafa Bundu. We see Mustafa Bundu just after some time at the match, after we scored the goal, it only last for a few more minutes, then Mohamed Kalon be call him and bring in Kai Kamara, will be hand over the captain band too. But now we look at, Mustafa Bundu in performance and that of Kai Kamara, because Kai Kamara and another player with concerns with the camp. Say why for call Kai Kamara looking at his age, a player with 40 years now for call him to the national team. So now we look at them, experienced player, blend of them all gets at the national team.
Yes, in the first place, more bigger watch from the age gap. Where Coach Kalon select this particular team, now from under 18 to under 20, I believe say in try for blend. That's why it include Kai Kamara into this squad. So we all know say for now, Mustafa Bundu they play exceptionally well for Plymouth and they score goals there.
Yeah.
So and that they improve Van Back as in give with the first goal. Unfortunately, he begets injury some minutes after he does score the goal. But the coming in of Kai Kamara, I believe, say, it sets Bokuman the most.
Okay.
Because of Kai Kamara, 40 years, and they so admire at his age, 40 years, he still get that kind of pace there for play. And we see the assist way in do to Musa Tsombo, where Musa Tsombo give with the second goal. So the selection now be a blend of both experience and non-experience. And at that, I believe, say, the national team need at this particular point.
And of course, now that's the national team need at this particular time. Now we move a bit from the match we'll play against Guinea-Bissau, we win 3-1. And now we look at the game we'll play against Egypt, Egypt's game, like one of the games them we under the leadership of Mohamed Kalon, so many people don't get concerned. One about the formation we Mohamed Kalon use, the team we pick, because we watch, you notice say some players then we Kalon be start with that the match against Guinea-Bissau and not start with them that the match against Egypt. So now we look at the formation we use and what we bring about the change for we decide for bringing other players them and drop some of them we be start with now the first match against Guinea-Bissau.
Okay, let we start for take first say the technical team of Coach Kalon, not a take chance.
Okay.
Now you see the likes of Coach Musa Kalon, I see Paul Parker be a bench with him, Keule Conte, Kemokai Kalon. They are all experienced past players then.
Okay.
And now they are all into the coaching aspects. Playing Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Bissau are a good team. But playing against the giants of Africa, when at Egypt, are fortunate for watch Egypt versus Sierra Leone versus Egypt, na Monrovia, November 2023, the first leg. Why make I be get two reasons why make Egypt beat with that game day.
Okay.
One, we get early red card of Tresfona. Secondly, we go open the game. We go make an open challenge to Egypt. And we all know the Arab football, especially the Egyptians, how do they play ball? Now a long ball they play. Okay. So if you're not able to contain them, now that midfield to the defense, where you see you lost ball, now one day they won with you. Now so Egypt will take beats way. So I believe say Coach Kalon and technical team, they sit down, they watch and say facing Guinea-Bissau and facing Egypt, now two quite different people them.
Okay. And
the style of playing football is too different. Okay. So for play Egypt, if you're able to frustrate them, that first half, when you're not able to go beyond your 18-yard box, might be very good way. It just that slight mistake who can do during that dying minutes of the first half, who can concede the only goal of the match. But we find out say the formation be very good. The only problem what begets that field now be the inclusion of Momo, that under 20 captain. Understand now a very good player we see in performance for under 20 during the qualification, but on that particular game day, he not be able to prove him well the way how we don't use for Siam. So sometimes that only thing that but Kai Kamara in presence at the field it be very much important because we watch Musa Tsombo now so Musa Tsombo good, but Musa Tsombo not get that chasing power as compared to Kai Kamara. So putting Kaikama as top, put Musa Tumbo at the bench. I believe so the intention with the coach them be get, let will frustrate them and there so of not getting goals, then later on will bring in the likes of Musa Tumbo. So you find out so when the game can open up now later on, we'll see the impacts. To me, we'll be even get penalty with the referee. Ignore. Yeah.
Okay, now we already, the coach will already start with Kai Kamara inside the match. Then we see if he later substitute him. People will be expecting for bringing Musa Tumbo. But if he decide not for bringing Musa Tumbo and bring in that young player, you know, we
Mohamed.
yes, we himself don't do extremely well. You know, Nzozi.
Nzozi, yeah.
Nzozi for can fill that gap there. So a lot of people will look at and say Nzozi not to be the right player for bringing. Instead, if we don't bring in Musa Tumbo.
Okay. For the one that we don't watch Musa Tumbo and Nzozi. The time Nzozi be the song, I watch him where be they play FC Cologne, Lions, Lions Sky, FC Cologne. I watch him. Nzozi very good. The difference between Nzozi and Musa Tumbo na the aerial view.
Okay.
Musa Tumbo will go up and Musa Tumbo get power. But in terms of the same pace, when they play against the Egyptians or the Arabs, you get forget pace. Musa Tumbo as I continue to see Musa Tumbo good. Musa Tumbo in finishing very good. But Musa Tumbo not get that pace as compared to Nzozi. So that's why you find out that the dying moment in bringing Musa Tumbo inside.
Okay. A lot of people will look at and back say the team where Coach Kalon be start with against Guinea-Bissau, why he not be repeats that same team they again against Egypt?
No, you know.
Because he will get them right against Guinea-Bissau.
You know, will repeat the same team as I don't tell you. Playing against Guinea-Bissau, now all-out attack.
Okay.
Will be the going for. You see, in starts Mustafa Bundu and Musa Tumbo.
Yeah.
Now be like almost 4-3-3 formation be they play that game day. Will be get Alassane Kouma, will be the one with the ball at that flank day. So that be all out attack. But playing against Egypt, like I don't say, now be more of defensive way one for play because of not one for conceive a lot of goal. If you remember the interview maybe go to me, I tell you say against Guinea-Bissau would the most win, but Egypt have been doubtful because of the players and the performances them we don't always forget at the previous competition.
Okay. Now we don't play. You play 2 matches them, Guinea-Bissau and that of Egypt. Then we get other tough fixtures them with the ahead of we. Now let's look at the possibility of Leon Star securing a spot at the World Cup 2026. You see, say it's possible for Leon Star get win at the remaining fixtures.
Yes, impossible for me to get winning at the remaining fixtures, but the possibility of getting a spot at the World Cup is slim. I'm not saying not possible, but in slim, because you watch between the points gap between we and Egypt currently. That makes us slim. But I believe so there is another qualification after this, both the first man and the second man. Then they go into another group. So if we're able to fight very hard for take the second position at the group, then we'll see now how they go for set 3 now. But for make us tell you outrightly say we will secure a spot for the World Cup, no, I'm not going to do that right now because it's very slim. But I believe say there is a possibility for me who can second at the group.
So as somebody don't they follow Leon Stars and with local based players them and the foreign based players them as well. And also you don't know Mohamed Kalon for a very long time in technicality that the area of coaching. So why you know optimistic say Salone will forget a spot?
One, Kalon Kamits would already play some games now this qualifying. And we don't draw, we don't lose. You understand?
Yeah.
So Kalon also starts this. I from only for say I from a rate Kalon in this qualification if not from a starter. Okay. But we already lost a home game. When you play them qualifiers there, so you home game, you know, for loss them. But we lose against Egypt that we own home. We now want thing that with the in that way. Where at least would they use Samuel Kedo Stadium as we home fixtures. But if we don't able to get to your stadium now, so also they get full support. Some of where they come out Salone, go Morovia, we know the Boku. When you go they watch you go feel was like an empty stadium. And then the matches they play. Supporters they do, you understand? But how many of the supporters they will shout at that big stadium? They know. But I get confidence in Coach Kalon. I get confidence in the technicality, and I believe say we'll be able to reach at that second spot today.
All right, continue for the with me at the program. A name na Michael Kanu, a sports expert. We do with me at the studio. As they also today for can talk about range of issues we get for do with the national team and also the Leo Rock Premier League where they carry on at the country. And don't forget to say yourself for the watch week, you join the conversation. You can send your comments to the comment section and also send me a message on 074 200 545. Make your input on the program. In case you just join me, the program at Liberty Sports and it comes to you live on Liberty Online Television. And of course, at any moment from now, we will also talk to one representative from the Leo Rock Premier League, when a board member. Of course, inside we can give you updates with regards to the transfer window, the second phase of the transfer window. We don't open today, and also the concerns we club then gets when they're on the race. We get for do with the yellow card. You know, we players them. You know, we clubs them for they pay for them players them as the Premier League board don't raise concerns. Say clubs them now the Premier League they refuse for pay for yellow card. We them players them don't commit. But I think on the line now we get Brahma. We deal with we now on the line. Brahma, good afternoon and welcome to Liberty Sport.
Yes, good afternoon, Mohamed, and good afternoon to listeners.
All right, Brahma Toure, welcome one more time as we not be to get you clear and at the studio. I hope you to get you clear.
Loud and clear. Good afternoon to listeners and good afternoon to Liberty TV.
Una be issue out a press release yesterday. Usai una declare open for the second phase of transfer window that the Leo Rock Premier League where they carry on. Of course, I firstly want follow we get a conversation around that. Talk a bit around the press release una issue out yesterday.
Before league start, I think after just few games then play, we'll be noticing some clubs then beginning request for let we open the window just for them for transfer one or two of them players them where they may feel saying at that particular position there. Some of the players they wouldn't get they either get injury or then they off.
We struggle a bit for get a sound from Musa Ude. We not really get you clear. And of course, we go want for let the viewers themselves able understand you clearly what you try for say. We hope say you go join we back. Let the technical team try for see how best they go work on that. All right, Ina Brahma Toure, Ina board member for the Leo Rock Premier League. Of course, get for giving some clarification on some issues them. We have to do with the press release where they issue out yesterday, the transfer window. They don't declare them open for clubs them and effective today, the 29th of March. And also again, the issues of yellow card. We clubs then at the Premier League not agree for comply for pay fines of yellow card for them players them and other issues them we get for do with the league. Well, still with me at the studio, I deal with Michael Kanu, we're a sports expert. We're also today for talk about the Leon Stars national team. We matches them we don't play so far and the possibility of Leon Stars for qualify. I think we don't get Brahma again. Brahma, welcome again one more time to the program.
Yes, Mohamed, I still there and at the follow the program. I just wonder why Unani gets me clear.
All right.
So I hope so.
We want for you to talk about the press release on our issue out yesterday when I don't declare transfer window open for clubs them and effective today, March 29.
Yes, so like as Abide say, just like any other league, we get standard. We then get specific time the way the window they open and they close. And this new platform we get when are the FIFA Connect or the FIFA Plus, where they match with the international best practice. We windows they know they open no more just like how it be did before. Now we get the online platform where they allow all the Premier League clubs them for register them players them so that they will be eligible for play the league. we've been get series of requests for let open window for just 2 days or 1 day for a few clubs them for let them register, but we maintain with grounds. We say no until it is officially opened. So now the window don't officially open today, and it run all throughout for 3 weeks, and it close the 17th of April. So this it allow clubs them for let them do new signings and do loan transfer and so forth and so on. So this na a way for enforce the best practice where this board they for enforce. So all the clubs are now get the opportunity for let them do them, and once the window close, definitely it close back.
They get for close on Thursday, April 17. Another concerns we normally can come up whenever transfer window open, when it close, you find out say issues of drogoki day between clubs them for certain players. This club would say this player and me player I not be released some for Goya, but I don't know how things go like, you understand, where all of a sudden we see the player take a switch to the next club. So una say board, whose modalities that I don't put in place for ensure say una address any issues of shots we might come up as soon as they move along.
Let's couple will come up. For example, the issue of a player from Bibura Warriors where they play now for FC Cologne. Bibura Warriors, they say they register the player, and FC Cologne they claim say they register the player. But when we go to the FIFA Connect, the platform they allow only one team where they give a unique code for proof say yes this club here na indoor register, or they give the license rather for proof say this club here na aim don't register this player. So in that particular instance, FC Cologne being gets the license approved by the platform for saying that they don't register the player, and the player currently they play for FC Cologne. So we get a couple of other issues them that are just one instance where I give. We they go through the system, we look at how the registration been take place, the document they would improve. So then Google for now investigate the issue as to how the player come out from FC Cologne for come to rather come out from Bibura Warriors and come to FC Cologne, and let me do some disciplinary action against the player because they think say the transfer not been that genuine and all that. So, but the best practice now we they maintain for uphold the system and for uphold William statute. So, player where they in dispute, we get a clear statute where they define as to the eligibility of that player. They how will they ascertain them. So that is not going to be a problem. We already don't test them at the first leg, and this new opening they can give, I'm sure, I'm pretty more confident that it not going to give you any issue.
Other issues we get for do it. Teams them we not maintain one jersey number for a particular player. We una as a board una don't pick that name up as a concern. Una say teams them for ensure they able to address them inside the second phase.
Yeah, of course, because the FIFA Connect, the platform, the registration not only stop for you register the player, but you also register the player with a specific number, and that number they run for that player throughout the season. So again, like as they say, we want to uphold best practice. Of course, we see England. If Wayne Rooney they wear number 10 for the season, now they wear all throughout the season. We'll see Wayne Rooney today with 10, and tomorrow you see her with another number. Now then they now we sabi as best practice. But of late, we don't see inconsistency in some of the teams them where they can just give the number to any player within the game and how they feel for game without taking consideration of the number where they register that player they with. So as a board, we don't send in a notice for remind and say we they watch with close attention, and we ready for beginning give now a disciplinary action for clubs them we're not consistent for award numbers them to the players them against the numbers that would be registered them players than they with initially. So as a board, we responsible for manage the affair and run the affairs of the league. We think as a it was necessary for us to pay attention to them. Half things then they when you think say no, this are nothing. But when you put into context and meet the standard of the league. So one for start for them small thing and they would start for correct them as a board going forward. So that's why we issue out that press release day for let the player for let the clubs they are aware. If at all, follow the laws, then it tantamount to disciplinary action and for let them not surprise if we start for Duam.
On the side of the clubs, them on a something deliberate, that they do.
I not get you clear?
Act now a mistake on a something deliberate, from the side of the club then.
Well, I no go ascertain whether or not a mistake because I know they're in the dressing room, but we dey see inconsistency that a certain player will use this number this game and the other game you see out another number. So we notice that inconsistency there and I make a pull out the press release for tell them whether a mistake now they go correct time in the dressing room or whether a deliberate attempt then they do, then they for stop her with immediate effect.
From the Premier League clubs, them they go to una the board members them that they understand say the board want for enforce law, so then the clubs them for they pay fines for them players them way secure yellow card now some of them matches them where they play. And of course una self gets una own concern with regards to that. Say if player gets yellow card, in 1 or 2 or 3 matches they for play, whilst the clubs then they say if player gets 5 yellow card, then if you pay. If you not pay at all, then if you are senior enough for playing at any of the matches, then you get right. But I want for give you clarification on that particular one day.
All right. So the WION statute states say when the player accumulates up to 3 yellow card, if for miss 1 game. So not only for missing out the game, if I pay a fine for the 3 yellow card and day. For example, if a player don't get red card, then you don't miss the number of games so if I miss, then it's still that same player they not pay the fine for that red card day. The player not eligible for till a pay the fine for that red card or yellow card respectively. So now then they will try for implement. So well then they take and say them and get an agreement of convenience with the previous board that therefore one player for accumulate at least 5 yellow card before he miss the other game or he pay the fine. So but we on laws them not say that we on laws them say 3. So as a board, we say and say we not go with that marriage of convenience where they get with the previous board. We come for implement the status of the league where give we the powers for law we do them to letter. We don't want for cherry pick the laws them. For say for this particular rule, we implement the law, and for this other particular rule, we make a marriage of convenience. We don't want to do that. As we already know, the chairman of this Premier League board, na a whole magistrate, Magegba, and a person where na a respecter of the principle, of the laws that we govern we, of the laws that we guide we, of the laws that we bind we together. So if na person we get that kind of background there and the laws that they interpret on a daily basis, that
with Brahima Kamara, Brahima Toure, the side where he did, but we hope say he go join me back for like we continue with the rest of the conversation because we they make some points we get for do it concerns them we don't come from the Premier League clubs them where they play at the Leo Rock Premier League where they carry on. And I don't know if Brahima still there with me on the line. Brahima, welcome back to the program. All right, we still get issues with Brahima. We hope say he go join me back as we move along now the program. Well, still with me at the studio, I day with Michael Kanu, when I sports expert. And of course, it has will talk on a range of issues them today now the program. Firstly, we will look at Leon Stars, the matches them we don't play so far. Now the 2026 FIFA World Cup African qualifiers and also the possibility of Leon Stars securing a spot at the World Cup 2026. We look at the remaining matches then where Leon Stars set for play. Quickly, I want to bring you in, Michael, whilst we wait for make Brahima join me again at the program. From waiting Brahima don't say, yeah, we get for do it the lost them of the game. The previous board, then be accept for let a player gets total of three yellow cards, then from there they will keep them aside, or the club can also pay for the yellow card in there. Whilst this new board now then say they not make any agreement of that, with this only being concerned from the Premier League board then. This new board they say when a player gets 3, if for pay. Whilst the previous one be they say 5. We get 5, then keep you aside now. You wait for one game then and pay. You understand? So now we look at this from a professional standpoint, as you know, possibly don't follow the game. So how you look at these issues, this bone of contention between the club and the Premier League board?
Yeah, at this point, all leagues them get their own principles where they follow. Okay. This are not so like a CAF they set the standard for you, or neither not so FIFA they set the standard for you. That's why we get a appointed Premier League board. The one mistake where this board do, I believe say be the start of the league, therefore don't call all them 18 Premier League teams there so. Say, now they lost them there were so. So that if now bargain, both the Premier League teams and the Premier League board, therefore don't come and meet at a point. Now the Premier League teams they say last season the Premier League board will be there, now be 5 team, now be 5 yellow card. If you just go, inform the Premier League teams then. You just can't say no, not 3 yellow card. That's why the feds don't come inside. But it not mean say they're not able to meet at a point. Because this now we own league and now we they set we own standard or one time for making be. That's why now we they set yes, I know say we want to make we get the international standard way in deserve. But at least make the Premier League boards also listing to the views of the Premier League teams, and because if the teams are not there, the whole of the Premier League board is useless.
Yeah. So the issues of players registering players with number, according to Brahima, he said they don't notice inconsistency don't they now to teams them. Teams them not they register them players them with number, then they continue with that number there. And of course when you register player, if na number 8 you don't register this player with, then if we ensure that number 8 say the player for able continue with her until the end of the season. Yes. The following season now can change them no problem. That is a decision we left to the club. But for today when I give the player number 8, tomorrow I get 10, the following game when I get 15. So them they see na issues of concern where they want for they take serious action against them team them with the default to law.
I totally support that in that area as they because we have done witness several times, including bigger clubs them who believe say them the odds for no better. We don't see sometimes if the number 10, the person with the number 10 jersey for them gets injury, you go see another person, another player, they carry number 10, we not to that number that they register with. I believe say then if you register 30 players then 30 players then they all of them forget the unique number. A play, not play, nobody not for use in particular number at that time day. Until when the person come back. So each player forgets your number, and that's why they, I believe, see they for start for take disciplinary action against the clubs. I totally support in that area.
If we get teams them with it now the Premier League, and remember when they say Premier League, now the top flight league that one in the country. For make you get administrators them where they run, then various clubs there where they play at the Premier League. Is it that the faults now on the side of the board idea or the administrator? Then says because if you say you now football administrator for any club, if I ensure you get the know-how, you know all the laws them will govern the game. But when they see them saying they come now, why is this they argue on this, then the administrators then say get their own issues that they come up with. If you say even the clubs themselves gets responsibility for ensure say the runnings of them club then they then put them at the hands of people who are capable, people who they know say yes, they're able for interpret the rules. Not so people who go just come and say because I like the game, they say well you can serve now as chairman. Because then thing that it not necessarily means say the board need for the 10 clubs then again.
No, at all. This one not a problem of the board. It's not a problem of the team them, the team management. Because if player not go just go na the dressing room today. Hey, Mohamed Kamara, we the work number 10. Not the play today. So now give me number 10 Jazzy. I believe say from the coachee to the team manager, they're always the responsible because sometimes they are not they just blame the executive of the clubs them. Because most times at the dressing room, the executive of the clubs they are sooner a day. Now the technical team, now the dressing room. So because now the technical team they na dressing room, now then get for no them basic things that they say. No, not so because of Mohamed Kamara with the work number 10 or day today. I will go give you a young Jazzy. Okay. So this now the area of the technical area where I know they blame the club management mostly for this. Because of the club management, then I for run the club. Whereas the technical team that they outside Jazzy, that they change Jazzy, that they work Jazzy, and so on.
All right, continue for the with me. I'm Michael Kanu, a sports expert. We do with me today now the program for ensure say a give detailed explanation and clarification on some of the issues them what we discuss now the program. Well, we also don't get Brahma again now the link. Brahma, welcome again to the program Liberty Sport.
Thank you, Mohamed.
All right, we still a struggle with sound from the end where you did. We hope say you will try for see how best you find a better place we go for talk so that we go forget you clear at the studio and the audience themselves go forget you. Again, Brahma, you will make a point. So I don't know if you want to get me. All right, of course, yeah, we'll get you clear now. You will make a point we get for do it the Jazzy numbers them. We clubs them not ensure see then consistent on their numbers indeed. Today player go use 10, tomorrow use 9, then the following day he use 12. And of course you be make your points on the side of owner the board on the disciplinary actions them we owner for the take against the club them we go fall short on this.
Yes. So like Asabi they say, the chairman of the Premier League board, we now no less a person but Magistrate Magegba. Now somebody where they interpret laws on a daily basis. I go re-emphasize that. And the reason for that, now because we want to pay attention to all the half things them, what we think say no, it don't matter. We will just get a marriage of convenience to go with them. No. So again, an apostle very disciplined and strict in implementing the rule. And not at one point in time use this rule and the other time a left them. No. A one for make sure say he use the rules from the start to the finish. Regardless of how big or small the rules then they, or regardless of waiting with people them don't used to. Of course, we know say we people are not used to that backyard league where you wake na morning you go just fling number 8 to person, tomorrow you get number 9, or sometimes the player 9 go determine whose number where you go take. So we want for tell and now say no, we laws they're not permitted for do that. You might see them in like now small things that we can just get an oversight, but it is not small. Now best practice now one for Fala, so that we league right now that they show them na FIFA Connect or na FIFA Plus, where it be say you can sit on your host, you get your internet, you're able to watch all the Premier League matches the way they play, and then they show internationally. So you know go find possibly they follow we league constantly, see this player today with this number, and the other day see out another number, and also the issue of your la card. We lost until we say now we player accumulate up to 3 a la card, then if you pay before eligible for play again. But then we don't used to when the player accumulates up to 5. Well, that's not the agreement between the two parties them, the board then and the clubs them. But it not been there now the laws them. So we as a board don't decide for go with everything we bind we as a board regulate the players them or let we regulate them. So don't forget any except to any of them.
You say this is an agreement where the Premier League teams then begin to the previous board, and now Una don't take over, and Una not go on for go by that agreement so that we don't make Una one for ensure so Una work with the laws them we govern the game. But initially before the league they start, Una we don't ever get this conversation with the clubs them like for tell them say all anything they are winner they lost them. We that other previous board be the oversight. We this time around we don't count the ensure so go strictly by waiting the laws and say. On a now for tell them.
I go say sit down and explain everything to them because we not be know waiting them agree upon and waiting and not be agree upon. So, but we come for notice this by the pattern. Like you dey see the pattern, say, okay, this now way this happened, somebody they do this. Then now we draw them to their attention, say, no, we dey see this pattern, but this pattern not correct. Because not so we lost them say, what's in the go on? Then I then and then now we learn, say, okay, well, now so we they do them previously. So we now they tell and say, okay, if now so we be they do them previously, but you know then now they lost them, now books them say now so now for do them. So henceforth, they begin to do them as how it did. Now we on books them for we do them. So that is why we don't start immediately for institute punishment or disciplinary action to defaulters. We give them a no. This one will be useful. Will no longer they accept and going forward from this point to this point. So now from this point, now this way we they do them because now in there now we books them. So that now for will be just fear to them. For let them know say, okay, this now the method how we the user now and not to the previous way. So that is it.
Clubs there. Now that you now for go to waiting the laws and say you now for move from the thing them way that previous board be don't they take una no one for take them again anymore. How now don't they get to respond? They're willing for comply. How now don't they see them? They're ready for comply to now?
Definitely they're ready for comply. They tell you something. Sierra Leoneans, we are very, very law abiding. First, where they come, people will complain because, when you don't used to something and they want for change them, some man will complain, say, no, bo, let her left this, so, no. But then just get for comply because the NSSF, as football administrators, no say that's not the best practice. They no say, now this, now in binary, as a body, as an organization, or as an institution. So the NSSF no go wish for break the law because they no say when they break the law, they don't break a fundamental time, and we see them they cooperate. The one they for pay a la carte, then they pay now without not even ask them. Then just they go pay and send the slip to the secretary, and you see the secretary pull out the notice that X club don't pay X money for X something. So I think the corporation they go on will not get any complaint for any defaulter.
And the supporters them, how best they don't they comport themselves now the different venues them where the game they play. Brahma, you get me? Hello, Brahma, you get me? All right, I think we still get issues with Brahma. We go all and day. Of course, in Brahma Toure, in a board member for the Leo Premier League, where they carry on now the country, they talk about the yellow card issues them where now concerns we don't come from clubs them now the Premier League where they play now the country, as they want for go by the agreements when they get to the previous board. Whilst this new board under the leadership of Magistrate Mark Gigba say they need for go by waiting the rules say. They don't need for do things as how they want for do them. And according to the rules then we govern the game now that if a player secure 3 yellow card, that player they therefore keep them off for 1 match, then they also pay for them yellow card and day. Whereas the club then say the previous agreement when they get to the previous board that's until the player gets 5 yellow card, then it gets a right now for wait for 1 game and also then pay for the yellow card and day. Well, we will continue for the follow and see how things they unfold. The program at Liberty Sports and it come to you live on Liberty Online Television. Me and Mohamed Kamari bring to you this edition of the program, and with me at the studio I deal with Michael Kanu. We are sports experts. They with me at the studio today for talk on a range of issues. Michael, I come back to you from waiting Brahma Justin Terry with regards to the agreement. According to Ram, he said this not an agreement when they get to the clubs then, but then believe that the best practice and then they ensure they enforce the law and the club themselves for comply.
Yeah. So I mean, don't say that the best practice, but I believe say this na a lesson to the clubs them and also to the next board, because whenever una want start a league, I believe say them for call all the clubs them first, explain to them the laws where they govern the game, the particular laws, because I know see some other Premier Leagues them na 5 games, get 5 yellow card, you go sit down for a particular game. But since say the rules of the Salon Premier League, and say na 3, problem not there, but next time, then the board for don't call all the Premier League clubs them and tell and say, now that's now we rules them. If we now go against them, we now go get a form of punishment.
So you see I'm saying I fault on the side of the Premier League board, which means they will not communicate earlier than this time.
Now a fault of the two, both the Premier League board and the teams them, because I believe say there is a rule book where the Premier League board give all the teams them. Where I believe say the management of them Premier League teams there, so for don't go through and for don't read them well and explain give the teams them. So not to the Premier League board no more. If the Premier League board don't issue out the rules there, so without not call training, special training, una self as a team, una for don't read them through. If not the secretary of the club self for don't go through and explain give everybody, where at least everybody will able to understand the rules them.
Now let me look at the entire league where they play right now. We're not the New York Premier League, of course. We don't see a kind of difference there from the previous one. Before this term, we see the league they play any kind of stadium no more for play, any kind of field so far. But now we see this new board and Carbon maintain standards. So the league for the play now on a field them we get artificial turf. We will see that they happen cuts across the country. All the Premier League matches that they play now, they play in artificial turf. As somebody who don't they follow the game closely, how you assess this particular league in terms of standard, the area of officiating, and even the spectators them where they go to the field and for watch the game?
Okay, I start with the spectator aspect. Okay. We don't see a well-behaved spectators there this time around. Okay. The only thing we are the watching or the publicity of this league and not too much as compared to previous league them. So yeah, that the Premier League board therefore do very good PR in the second phase of the league, because when they go watch some games them, not they even reach 20, 30 people them, now they pitch them. Or the supporters the way they did at the field. So the NAC, though now the teams then the host, you are the host I for do your PR, but I believe say the Premier League board they get percentage of then games there so they play. So the Premier League board for able for join on with the particular club who they host match on that particular day for able for adverts then games there so. The officiating, I will say 60-40. Much more better than waiting will be the see previously. Especially until now, the referee themselves don't aware say this FIFA Plus, we don't they televise the games them. Yeah. You self they scared and doing some kind of rubbish ways some referee them don't they do before. But I don't see massive improvement in the officiating, and I want to say kudos because we don't get more CAF and FIFA referees them. Now we don't even get a Elite B referee.
All right.
For the performance, they pitch them. You know, now I want to give kudos to the board and the SLFA as a whole, because they find out say would they get less injury of players them as compared with them they play now all kind fields then gravel field or this that but and adding to them fields they also said they play. Recently, I go to Angola Town, I see FC Calon Field almost done. I go to Trade Center, I see Lions Field Self almost done. So I'm for give kudos to them, teams there also, and to the FAA make provision who side then games there also they play more. We just need for add pavilions to most of the fields there also, because most of the time we go watch them at Tinap with the Tinap.
Okay. Yeah, you talk about matches them where they play at the country. Of course, we see recently. Like for Freetown, yeah, we see we get SLFA Academy and
Apple
School Field, where games then they play. But you notice of late, they see most of the matches there for playing Academy Field. Teams themselves now, they ask the boards, we match do you like playing Apple School Field?
Yeah.
We see say the people in the eastern part don't they get the league don't they get momentum now the east more than western self outside the Sierra Leone Football Secretariat SF base, So what do you feel say really now the issues we make most of the clubs say now they go in for ensuring them play the matches in Apple School Field at the Far East?
Well, I don't know, but I don't know what's in the actual cause, but I only know say the population at the east, where at any time you go watch game na approved school, you see the turnout very much good. And as compared to the SLFA Football Academy, so I just don't know the reason, or maybe one reason na the sitting accommodation, because I don't see sign a SLFA despite that they bill so outside there for many people then go begin sit down, but to watch na approved school, then get so many sitting accommodation na approved school, and the turnout day at the see team like FC Cameroon and Western base. The host and game then they Slipher the host game day, Bantan the host game day. So and like I did find out say that there was a game where I go where then tell me say they get taking over 100,000 leons.
Wow.
Now approved school. Where SLFA Academy not they produce that kind of amount today.
Okay. Now we look at the fixtures of matches that we set for play for this weekend. We will see Stella Lions set for play with Bafo Strikers. Mighty Blackpool go play Bantal, and also FC Cologne go play Abacha City. Then we will see Bible Warriors playing against Old Edwardians. Wosum Stars go play against Bo Rangers. Star Sports Academy go play against Bulom Stars. Loa Football Club go play against Camboy Eagles, and also Mount Sawyer Slipher go play against Diamond Stars. Now we look at the weekend fixtures there. We see we get tough fixtures them we set for play. Even today, one of the Mighty Blackpool sets for play, a very strong side. We therefore be a very tough one for our Bantal.
Yeah. Today we dey host the leader of the league, Winner Bantan.
Wow.